Today is the 1st of March, which means a new month and a new week and a new status update. So for this video, one of the first things that I want to mention is that some time ago, I was thinking, how can I best serve the purpose and my mission of making entrepreneurship available to everyone? And besides the whole business operation that I'm working on, I figured that by sharing more success stories from founders or entrepreneurs who have started businesses successfully and not given up, not quit, then I would be able to inspire more people to get started or showcase why you don't need to be so scared to get started. And so to realize that, I already have and will continue to do a range of interviews, podcasts, call them whatever you want, where the purpose is really to focus on the starting point. So how did people get started? What did it take for them to get started? What was the transition from having a job to starting the business? Was it easy? Was it difficult? What kind of disappointment did they deal with? And then hopefully this will eventually turn into a kind of a series where you will be able to get a lot of inspiration for how did people make it really. And so, hopefully throughout a series of 5 to 10 videos, there will be some very common denominators that will show you that it is very simple, not easy, but simple to get started with your business. I mean, I can continue making content about this. You can continue watching videos, but in the end, unfortunately, I can say it is really up to you to convince yourself and commit to making it happen. I think one of the easiest things I can say is it's really a matter of expectations. I think for me, changing my expectations from this is a half a year thing to this is a 10, 20, 30 year thing really allowed me to understand and accept that I need to start, and then it is impossible not to fail, and then be okay with failing, because from that failure I will learn the necessary things that eventually will get me to the point I need to be at. And again, I mean, I know it's pretty easy to just sit here and talk about this stuff, especially when monetarily it's not something I've done yet. But I really know that I will get there, and I truly hope and believe that by making these videos, I can both inspire and actually help someone who's watching. Yeah, again, the first interview I had with Arkady yesterday was really great. It'll be live tomorrow, which will be the 2nd of March. So, I mean, I don't know when you're watching this, but it'll be sometime in the future, and hopefully by that time we'll have more than this one interview ready. But it was still super interesting, and I think we shared a lot of interesting beliefs, and it was just an all-out pleasure talking with him. The bumps along the way literally mean nothing as long as you continue down the road. So maybe you can take something from that. It's at least something I keep telling myself over and over and over again, because I know that's what's going to get me to the end. And the end is not an end point, but the end is staying in the game, right? Or continuing along in the game. And so, yeah, I think that's going to continue being an important point in my life, which is something I want to share with you, because really the whole purpose of this is taking you behind the scenes of what is it like to try and start something? How does it feel? What do you go through? What are the ups and downs, right? And so you could look at having done this for a year and a half or closing in on 2 years and be like, well, you haven't accomplished anything so far in terms of specific accomplishments or monetary value, right? But the things I've learned in that period are incredibly high, mountainous. And I mean, personally, the way I've developed is even more incalculable. And so I would do it all over again. It even just goes to show how much just sticking it out and learning and growing before you focus on earning will make you develop as a person and understand how important learning is. And I know it's, again, so easy to say, but yeah, like it showed me that if I do this for 2 years and just kind of learn and improve in this period, imagine how far I could get if I just learned for 10 years, right? And I think you'll have those revelations along the way. And in the end, that's what's going to lead you to so-called victory, or to getting where you want to go, the results you want. At least I know that's what it's going to be like for me. And so being able to envision specifically where I will be at, what will happen in the immediate future at least, makes it very attainable for me. That's really exciting. And I'm glad I get to do it in a way where I help other people as well. That's almost the best thing of everything. And so, yeah, this was the update for today. Don't really have anything else. If life sucks for you, It's Saturday, and that means a status video for you guys. What's been going on during the last week has been, one, seeing that the interview I released last Saturday, that's a lie, last Sunday with Arkady has done incredibly well. I'm guessing that means that people liked that I did an interview and what the interview was about. So that was really nice to see. Some other ones in the pipeline, which means hopefully soon I'll be able to share a lot more stories for you guys to benefit from, for me just to hear about and to be inspired by, and hopefully create sort of a portfolio of success stories that you can get inspired by. So you can realize that you just have to get started, take action, fail immediately so you learn that it's not the end of the world, and then, move on and iterate from there. Set goals, execute, repeat. It's that simple. So a lot of this week has been spent on making that happen. Otherwise, working with my clients, of course. We're making steady progress, really nailing. A lot of the focus is going on for outreaches. How do you make sure that you can deliver value up front and show why you're worth working with? And I just know, like with the things that we're doing and the volume that we're going through, that by the end of me doing all this free work, it'll be such an amazing program. And I'm so excited for all the things I have in store for the future, or the people I can help and the changes I can help them achieve in their own lives through this amazing business that I will create. And again, these videos literally are just here to document, one, my thoughts while doing this, and also to show you it is patience, grit, perseverance, and just commitment for long enough, and then it will work out. Yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say besides that. It is fun. It is hard AF. It's interesting that it can be both fun and like so painstakingly disheartening at the same time. The fact that you can do something that you would never trade for something else, even when it's not bringing you in any money, and then still every day go through challenges with it. Like, to me, that's such an interesting dynamic, but I guess that's why you kind of fall in love with it, and probably why, I'm never gonna switch to doing something else. It's really just a matter of cracking the code and also earning some money from doing so. But yeah, I don't think this video needs to be that long. We're making steady progress, and I guess that's just the most important thing. Not much more than that. Going to the US soon again will be exciting to try and work while abroad, more focused than I've tried before. So that'll be a nice trial for me to see how well that works with time differences and staying committed to delivering on the important priorities and not doing a ton of other things. So it's still just the first week of March, which means we have a bunch more weeks to go and a bunch of other status videos to cover. Just wanted quickly to pop in and tell you a little bit of an update. It's not Saturday today. I'm doing this a little bit out of routine. I think there's a very important lesson for me to learn. And as you know, this series is really all about sharing my lessons, what goes on behind the scenes of building the business, right? If I didn't share this series would just be obsolete. About a month and 2 weeks ago, I accepted 5 new clients that I would work with for free in my coaching and help start their own businesses and prove that they could get their own first customers within 90 days. And I'm confident that I can do this. Now, what's happened since then is that in the course of those 6 weeks until now, 4 of those 5 peoples, counting today, have decided to quit. And initially I might look at this and think, I suck. To a certain extent, I do suck because as a coach, it's my responsibility to make sure that they feel engaged, they feel like it's within their limits, and also consuming the amount of time they feel like is acceptable, etc., etc. And so, to make sure that a client would be able to continue as part of the program, of course, this is something I need to deal with. But of course, I don't suck personally. And so that's, one of the first thoughts that I reiterate to myself. But I get the opportunity to view this as an important lesson and as something that I get a chance to learn now instead of later when I'm still doing this for free. There is a really important lesson here, which is people are stopping for a reason, right? Like they don't just stop because of nothing. And what I've been told by all of them, except for one who just didn't give any notice, who just basically stopped responding, is that they feel like it's too much time and they have too much other stuff going on that they want to focus on, or that suddenly they want to do it by themselves and they feel like they can't stay committed to being part of the program. And I mean, of course, that's fair. They get to choose whatever they want to choose, and this is free. But I think there's a very important point here, which is, yes, it might take some time. And I think I need to be personally better at keeping them updated on the progress that they have already made, how far they are, where we're going right now, what we're focusing on, so they get those small hints of success much quicker, and that they at all times have an idea of, in total, how far along in the program are we. But I also think that really when they say, I don't have time for this, what they actually mean is, I don't feel like I've seen sufficient results for me to keep investing in this. Couple that with the fact that it's free and they haven't really invested anything monetarily in this, I do see the incentive to stop and think, it's a lot right now, I don't know if I can make it, I'm not seeing the results I want. And then from there to go, I'll put this on pause, on hold for now, and then later, maybe I'll come back. I'll pick it up again. I'll work with it myself. I can probably make it work. And I'll figure it out from there. I mean, I understand that justification and rationalization. I have probably done something similar previously. And so I have a couple of lessons that come to my mind from doing that, which a couple of them which I've just talked to you about. But I think the fact that it is free is also a big determinator for how engaged people are. Like, if you don't pay for something, financially, you're not going to be as invested in making sure you get a return on your investment as when something is free. Because you don't have a pain for quitting, really. You can just quit and not really notice what happens. But when you pay, you have a monetary investment that you want to see a return on. And so despite the fact that I really want to do this for free and I'm going to continue doing it for free, I think the churn rate or the cancellation rate is going to be much lower when people actually pay. And I mean, who knows? In the future, maybe we'll find out that this notion or this idea was completely wrong. But I think for sure in the future, when I get paying clients, then I'll see that once you actually pay for something, because that's the way, I would do it myself. But yeah, there are a few lessons. Make sure that people feel like they know where they're going at all times. What are we working on right now? Why are we working on that? Where are we going with that? Keep them posted on that. And then I think this is probably one of the more final and important lessons also, is I need to do a better job of qualifying people and seeing who actually has X number of time that they can continuously invest over this period to make this work. Because it's fine that I'm good with spending all this time on it, and I'm confident in my ability to provide the right direction and guidance. But if someone is not willing to put in the commitment, of course, that's a mixture of, you don't really know what it is exactly that you're committing to. Like, you might know, I'm just having an idea mid-sentence right now, but you might know that, I'm committing to 2 hours every day for 3 months or something, right? But you will still then get started and experience the fact that it'll be difficult. And so, like, it's still in those moments, the actual coaching, not making it too easy to quit or give up is going to be an important factor. Then I think, one, you'll have more fun doing whatever it is that you're working on or doing in your life. But also, I think you'll grow more quickly, and I think you'll get the results, or the success, or the financial outcomes you want faster. What's up, YouTube? Back with another status video. And you might be looking around saying, David, your background looks different. Where are you? And the short answer is, I'm back visiting in the US. So not too long ago, went on exchange, back visiting shortly. And so the next couple of weeks will be recorded from this place. Now, for a status update. Honestly, not much has changed business-wise. I think in terms of the work that I'm doing, I need to pick up the seriousness and the slack and the responsibility of making sure that I keep my clients accountable. I really need to be on top of that at all times, because even if I'm working with just a couple of people, I need to do whatever I can to make sure those people are progressing. I've started programming, and I'm doing all these interviews and editing, uploading, planning, questioning, all of this for your sake. Of course, I know it it's part of building my brand, and I'm not, I'm not an idiot. I know that's definitely to my own benefit. But the reason that I chose to do this was to share more success stories for you who's watching. So one, you can see more ways of doing it, be more inspired, but also you will, hear the same message enough times for you to finally decide and commit to just doing it yourself. So you don't have to wait anymore. So you can finally give yourself permission to just get started and commit and don't look back. That's really what it takes. One thing I could add is today I had a meeting with a cool guy named Tyson. We went over a few things on school and how you can really increase the value of school. The way to do it was in terms of, one, make it more valuable in terms of making it clearer how people start, how they introduce themselves, how they keep themselves accountable, how they see progression, and talking a little bit about also making it more attractive from the outside. So some exciting stuff. Some stuff that I would say, much of it I already knew to a large extent, but just being reminded of it and seeing it kind of from the outside on someone else's platform is a big help. And so I highly appreciate that. And it's definitely something I will start implementing, because it's just a few small things here and there that, in the big picture can make a big difference. Not just for getting people to join, but for the people who are in the community and who want to benefit from being there. Another weekend and another status clip, another update. Whatever I'm going to call these, right now it's going to be the same. So I'm still in the US and I'm making this video, of course, to check in, to give you a little bit of an update of what's going on, what's on my mind. And the first thing that came to my mind when I sat down, put up the camera and started to record is that while I'm continuing to do the things I'm doing, it is 100% clear to me that my focus is hugely or largely on a lot of other stuff than just the things I'm working on. And on one hand, I'm not surprised by that. I chose to come here to the US to visit and to do a bunch of other things while believing that I could still, do the important work. In some perspective, or in one perspective, I'm doing the things or the work with the same intention, but less deliberately. And my focus is just more split, which is not great, because it makes me think less of following up with my clients, get that little bit extra work done, just spending the time on it. And really, that's not optimal. However great it is for me to come here and to visit and to do a bunch of other things and not do it like as a vacation, it does subtract a lot from the work that I am focusing on. Because I chose to come here knowing that there was a certain risk or splitting the focus among multiple priorities. And so this is literally just the result of doing that. And it's just a lesson. I can get that kind of lesson with small or low degrees of consequence, the better. So I think that's the majority of what I wanted to share. Otherwise, things are moving forward. Today, the third interview will be released. Super excited. The last couple have done really well, and they're bringing a lot of value to the table, helping a lot of people. Of course, they also grow the brand, but I do think, one, that I learn a lot from doing it on multiple levels. But I do think they can definitely help a lot of people go to where they want to go. Today is Saturday, which means another status video. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't have much to say for this status video. Things are moving forward, and at the same time at a relatively slow pace at the moment. I think one of the few things I can say is, yes, we're making progress with the clients, or I'm making progress with the clients, and I'm putting a little bit more effort into the school community. But another positive thing is, tomorrow I'm releasing the fourth interview, the Founder Story series. I'm really happy with what we've managed to do with those interviews so far. I think they portray some both great stories. There's a nice sense of variety in there. One, of course, I get to share some stories of people who've made it to a certain point, but also you guys who will be watching get to learn from what they've done, and hopefully it'll inspire you to commit and continue crushing what you're working on. So I'm really happy with those. We're definitely going to do some more in the future. Have one more coming out tomorrow. That'll be, well, the one I did with Jamie a long time ago, that'll be 5, I believe. have one plan for next week. Then I might do one or two more, but then I'll probably take a break for a while, focus on finishing my master's degree and work some more on the coaching. An idea I've had today was I offer a weekly live hour of Q&A on Zoom in the school community. Today I had the thought of, what if for the time I have available where I don't coach people, which obviously I won't have much of when I start filling up my calendar and charging people for it. But the idea of going live and helping people solve or work on their businesses live while live streaming in some kind of spare time just seemed super interesting to me, though it's not much different than just doing the live through the school community, and that can just be done more frequently than once a week. So I guess that's kind of the same thing. So not a ton of stuff are happening. I'm looking forward though to diving more heavily back into it, and to be able to spend more time where I don't have to focus so much on the thesis that I'm working on right now. Of course, I can just choose not to do it, right? But I've almost completed this program, so you can do what you're doing now, but it's not going to get you where you want to go. And I'm just happy to remind myself of that, so I can suck it up and get back to what I need to do and, kick out the distractions. So yeah, great talking to you. Whenever you're watching this, hope you have a great day and that you're smashing your own work or smashing your business, killing it in the way that you want to. Stay disciplined.